And new details this morning in a tragic story out of Kerr County. 3 riders were killed yesterday. The Thin Blue Line Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club confirms to KENS 5 that 3 of its members died. The 3 victims have been identified as Jerry Wayne Harbor from the Houston area. Joseph Paglia and Michael White are both from Chicago. Harbor and White served in the U.S. Army, and Paglia was a retired police officer. The Kerr County Sheriff says the motorcyclists were riding in a group along Highway 16 between Kerrville and Medina. That was around 1:30 yesterday. The sheriff said a driver crossed lanes of traffic and slammed into the group. In addition to the 3 riders killed, at least 9 others were injured. Ivan Robles Navajas was arrested and charged with DWI, multiple counts of intoxication manslaughter, and multiple counts of intoxication assault. The group was reportedly celebrating the club's 11th birthday when the crash happened.